Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing gives you a Saturday afternoon. Sunny, nice, glowing, only a few high clouds in the sky on this slightly muggy but beautiful late July, but very late midsummer in the greater Roseville metropolitan area in the great state of Michigan, right? XDC, we know where that's going. We went over this extensively along with our bullish and bearish indicators will be coming out tomorrow. I will email. Email will be down below. We know where that's going. It's going down there. Also, we went over and we've got lots of new subscribers, and I believe it's from our housing bubble that we're talking about as Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. We'll be covering now extensively upcoming catastrophic United States housing bubble collapse, as we're going to get an oversupply of homes the next 12 to 18 months, rapidly declining U.S. dollar, forbearances, and the moratoriums coming to an end, and the forbearances will move into foreclosure, and these people will be kicked out of their homes. Interest rates are going to rise. It's a disaster in the making, and we're going to have a financial collapse and a financial crisis, and this is going to be a dollar-induced financial crisis where the U.S. government will become insolvent. They will not be able, they already are insolvent. They just don't admit it, but we're going to print ourselves into an inflationary depression, and the United States government will become insolvent. The U.S. dollar will become essentially worthless around the world, and that's going to cause a financial collapse in the United States and a debt collapse, right? And that's what's going to happen. Just like Theta's a pile of shit, and it might bounce up to there, and then it's going to bounce down. We're in this descending channel, right? You get that? Descending channel. Yes. Descending channel. Yeah, that's right. You see that? It's not very fucking complicated. And I'm only talking about Theta because these random guys in my subscribers want me to talk about these piles of garbage. They buy any and every pile of garbage imaginable, and nothing real, tangible, or of any real value that pays you anything. But this is going to continue down right into the shit house. It could go to the shit house tomorrow. It could go to the shit house next week. It could go to the shit house at the end of the year. But it's going to the shit house in an up and down fashion. If you want to buy this coin, you buy support, you sell resistance. You buy support, you sell resistance. You buy support, you sell resistance, because this coin is going to continue to trade down, right? It's a pile of junk. There will be pumps, like if you pumped off the bottom of this in our industry exclusive measuring tool from support on the white line at $3.90, and then you sold it at upper resistance at $5.09, it's a 50% move. But then from there, it's going to crash, right? So that's why you would have to sell it, because then it's going to come down 68%, and it's going to be at $1.60, right? And then you could buy it at $1.60, and you could pump it up to the upper resistance now is at 370, which is 157% move, right? But if you're buying it thinking it's going to do this, way up there, if you're buying it thinking it's going anywhere up here, you're a jabroni. And just like this looks like a huge mushroom cloud blowing up, it's exactly what your fucking portfolio is going to do, because this coin is not going anywhere near up there. It's going to the floor, right? Just like the U.S. financial crisis is going to go to the floor, right? 2.2 million homes in forbearance. Joe Biden. The 2021. Joe Biden, God, it's such propaganda. Printing money. Printing 2021. Biden's planned president to propose $6 trillion budget to boost middle class. This is in June. He's already done $5.5 trillion. That would get us to $10 trillion. He's just a spending machine. I said if this asshole won, taking the place of the other asshole that was in office that did 5 trillion last year in a COVID crisis. It is supposedly great economy, right? I said this asshole would do 10 trillion his first year, and by the time he left office in 4 years, he could have $40 trillion to the national debt. When he came into office, the national debt was about 25 trillion. I thought he could double the whole national debt in his first 4 years, and he's going to. He's already at 10. He's already 1/3 of the way of our whole national debt through our history, halfway through the year, right? He's going to be at $10 trillion after he does this. You're going to have a major United States dollar collapse, right? Biome, and this is where you're going. In an inflationary, as the currency value declines, i.e., America printing it away in inflation, foreign holders' payments are worthless, as they are right now, as our currency has been drastically devalued in comparison to other currencies. That further decreases demand and drives up interest rates. As I've been telling you, interest rates are going to skyrocket. As the currency declines, imports become more expensive. As I've been telling you, consumer prices are going to rise in an inflationary depression due to upward pressure due to declining value of the dollar and upwards pressure because of the printing of the dollar, which is causing the decline of the dollar, right? Joe Biden continues to print inflation. The dollar continues to lose value. When we pay for things that we need that we don't make and it comes on a boat, it costs more because we don't make anything in America. This is going to be the worst possible outcome. All these factors could together contribute to an inflationary depression, right? What is the deflationary depression? A deflationary spiral typically occurs during periods of economic crises, which we have now, such as a recession, which we do have, but we're trying to print ourselves out of it to stay away from this depression as the economic output slows, which it has, and demand for investments and consumption dries up, which it is. As more money is saved, less money is spent, which we have more money saved because we're printing it. So that's even worse than people working and saving, further decreasing, blah, blah, blah. But we're going to go into a 1970s style. We're going to have a 1970 inflation United States. The 1970s was the decade of inflation in the United States. While it may be surprising to some that the average inflation rate for the decade as a whole was only 6.8%, this rate is double the long-term historical average and nearly triple the rate of the previous 2 decades, right? 7% inflation. But in a year, you had 10 or 15%. The double-digit inflation of the 1970s, right? It was a disaster. The paper seek to explain inflation in the 1970s, blah, blah, blah. Mean inflation rate. The dramatic allocation of inflation between 1972 and 74 can be traced mainly to 3 shocks: rising food prices, rising energy prices, and the end of Nixon wage price controls. There's some propaganda. The reason you were having inflation was because of Nixon's wage and price controls. And remember my segments where I say wage price controls? You're going to have that under Joe Biden. You're going to have back wage and price controls. And that exacerbated, even though the propaganda, they try to spew it, that his wage and price controls helped inflation. His wage and price controls accelerated inflation, accelerated food shortages, long lines, Soviet style. You guys remember that in the 1970s. You had long lines for food, long lines for energy, very expensive food that was there, product shortages, and it was all because of price and wage and price controls that exacerbated the ongoing problem with the inflationary decade because of all the money you printed in the 1960s and the free, open guns and butter economy. In the 1970s, you had to pay for it, and you were paying for it in terms of hyperinflation, product shortages, long lines for food and high energy prices, right? Because of the horrible government in the 1960s, it's the same as we're getting now in the 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. We're going to pay for it, and we're starting to pay for what we've done in the 2000s, in the 2010s, now in the 2020s with inflation and higher energy prices, food and product shortages, right? We're going there, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. And when Biden reissues wage and price control Soviet style, just as the communists did back in the 1970s with Nixon, it's going to exacerbate the problem. It's going to have bread lines, milk lines, food lines, and energy prices are going to skyrocket, right? It's going to be a disaster. Severe thunderstorm watch for Virginia. Watch out for all my Virginia people down there. Severe weather alert day down there. It's going to be a disaster, and you guys need to get your shit together. And theta is not where you want to be. Theta, it's going to exacerbate the problem. What else do we got? AD, fucking Cardano, people make me talk about. And this is the bowling ball, right? This is an industry exclusive pattern that I'm shocked other people haven't tried to figure out. But if we delete that, get all this noise out of here, zoom out, and then we go, use the daily time frame pattern. And you can see what we have here. We have the man holding the bowling ball with a club foot pattern. And look at that. It's coming beautifully down into the club foot. We got some more noise. We can see it's entering the club foot now, right? We were telling you here, and we drew this out beautifully when it came down. We said it would come against upper resistance and then fall. And that's what it did. And we erased that to show you how it's going to enter the club foot now. And that's where we're at. The man holding the bowling ball with the club foot bearish reversal pattern. And we're entering the club foot, and we're going to come down to the bottom of the club foot very soon at about 70 cents in Cardano, right? That's what's going on in Cardano. U.S. housing market collapses, and you guys want me to fucking talk about Cardano. Thing's a pile of shit. Matic, same thing. See that? All these people are showing you these patterns. They don't even know what they're called. But this right here is a symmetrical triangle continuation pattern, and they can break up or down, but when they're in a bear pattern, they're bearish continuation patterns, and then it broke down. And look at that. Look exactly where we're at in Matic now. Remember that? We put our targeted move on the breakout, which is this colored bitch right here, my perching tool, and the target was 82 cents. And we haven't talked about Matic in a while, and Vincenzo and his bullish and bearish indicators and his price forecasting nailed this beautifully with the symmetrical triangle, what is a bearish continuation pattern because it's happening during a bear trend. You can see right there and right there was your symmetrical triangle, your bearish continuation pattern, and then right here was your targeted move with our industry exclusive perching tool. And you can see exactly, oh, we got two of them there. You can see exactly where it came down to. It hit our target beautifully, right? Look at that. And now it hit the 200-day moving average, which we said with confluency, it made sense because the 200-day moving average in green and the daily time frame was down there. So we knew that's where this was going, and we nailed it beautifully. And all these other sites were telling you to buy. They said, buy there, nope, sell, buy there, nope, sell, buy there, nope, sell. You know, they don't know what the fuck's going on. I've consistently told you this price was going down, and this is where it was going to after this bearish continuation pattern. And we have multiple other ones that are going to break down into this form that we've been showing you in an industry exclusive way. You need to get on these bullish bearish indicators. You need to get signed up, and you need to be with Vincenzo as we talk everything from crypto to monetary policy to fiscal policy to housing market collapse to bank insolvencies. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love. Peace and love.